Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. I had a little bit of a crash last time, but I think we're back online. So let's get going with this war here. We are invading France. I am in the process of moving armies. I apparently am not in the process of moving armies in the direction of the front. I am in the process of being in the process of moving armies to the front. Army of Florida should go there. 5th American Army should go there. And I think my fleet is not currently on the way to do a naval invasion. No, they are. Alright, cool. So that should be fine. I'm actually still really in a solid spot financially. Despite the fact that I am in the midst of a war in which I'm fully mobilized. That's a surprise. I'm kind of wondering if maybe I've misunderstood my finances and actually can tolerate a much larger armed force than I thought I was. But I think part of this is that the private construction queue has finally really started to take up close to an amount of production as the government one is, as you can see. We got 8 lines running, whereas for the government we got also 8 lines. So they're really starting to pick up the pace on the private construction queue side. Oh, 4th Army is on its way to naval invade. Alright, that's right. I remember that. I remember that. Alright. So, the children want protected speech. Which I can see why they want that. But unfortunately, it is going to make the petite bourgeoisie big mad. So, we're not going to do it. Now, Prussia's trying to make Hanover a protectorate. You know, that's fine with me. I don't really feel any obligation to do anything about that at the present time. This is us winning a war against France. Hopefully we'll get some landing progress with that, with our naval invasion. And then all these other armies coming back to France to actually do a landing there. Let me take a look at my prospects for going after Congo now. Because I could, with the amount of infamy I've got. Oh, interesting. It looks like only Spain and Oyo are potentially going to set themselves against me, so I'm going to give this a shot. And if Spain does, then perhaps... Alright, so there's a diplomatic play starting. Not loving that the sound thing didn't kick in. Sort of afeared about that. I can bring Great Britain in. Spain is likely to join. Great Britain is likely to join on my side. So I think if Spain joins, I'll bring Great Britain in. In fact, I might bring Great Britain in just as a, as kind of a little insurance policy. Although at this point, I think we're extremely likely to win against France with us having landed and having really rock-solid force comparison here on the naval invasion here. Alright, so have they brought in Spain? Not yet. Actually, at this level of mobilization, I might be able to take Spain. See, I don't want Great Britain to declare neutrality. Heck it, I'll bring them in. That's what I want. If that brings Spain in, then they'll bring Spain in. Excellent. Side with me, Spain sides with Congo. Alright. What can I get out of Spain out of this? If I add... Wow, transferring Cuba would be so much more infamy than I assumed it would be. What if I... Spanish South Cameroon, where's that? Is it... I'm really, showing I don't know anything here. Spanish South Cameroon is here. It's Fernando Po. Alright. No, I don't desire Fernando Po. Alright. We seem to actually be maybe having a difficult time with France here. We're losing one battle, but we're winning another much larger one, so I think maybe it'll be fine. Does France have war support protection right now? It does not. So we are... Oh yeah, here we go. This is a very large battle, which we're currently winning. And my finances are doing much worse, but that's okay. So getting Congo colonized will let me start some new colonization efforts over here. And actually, I'm going to put the 5th American Army here on the Fernando Po front, just so that we don't end up in a situation with ourselves over here. That's British Nigerian Congo. So that area is not going to be a valid advancement target, because that area is not... Ooh. Gold depleted in Alaska. A bunch of events. The rich mineral deposits in American Alaska have been drained. Mines are being shuttered, and all the prospectors who moved in are beginning to drift away in search of the next big strike. Alluvial gold dried up. Miners go home. River dried up due to miner activity. Shafts condemned as threat to life. Enter at own peril. Trespassers will be shot. Survivors will be shot again. You know we can't just let them leave, because that means it's time to build some gold mines. How many mines we got? 3. It's not too many. But we're not holding the entire territory, so... Athabasca always takes forever to colonize, it seems like. Alright, so it looks like Spain has gotten involved, but we've got Britain on our side, and the war with France will be done pretty soon, actually. So I'm feeling pretty confident overall in our ability to win this thing. Defensive pact with Canada. Well, that's interesting. You're still a Dominion. I'm going to decline. I don't necessarily desire this. I'm going to move... I feel like this naval invasion is a goof. So I think as soon as this war pops off, I'm going to cancel it and have these units naval invade Congo instead. 2 arms. Gold in Utah, fancy that. So this is the 4th American Army. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. Now what we're going to do... Oh, Atlantic Fleet. Okay, here we go. This is going to have... Congo's already being invaded by Great Britain. Okay, well, please be good at that, Great Britain, because... Oh my goodness. I completely forgot we have a front with Spain in France now. In a different war. Alright, well that's fine. Well, now the finances are well and truly goofed. Things are getting pretty silly. Financially speaking. You got a 6th American Army. That's going to go somewhere else. We have an undefended front. But where? Gambia. Oh. Portuguese Gambia. You have a bunch of enemy armies error handling themselves to locations. That's also unfortunate. So again, regular army still on the front with France. But this should be... Actually, though... I don't know if I can focus on going forward here. We've still got a front in the south over around Gibraltar, so I don't think we're going to have a problem with Spain coming after things. I think Spain has been tempted by... Oh, not this one. No, Spain just joined because they guaranteed their independence. That's fun. Well, good on you, Spain. 5th American Army needs to go to the Gambia front before things get too silly over there. Alright. So the war with France has ended, and that means our armies are... Oh, regular army needs another leader. Goodness, let's see. Oh, you got shell-shocked. That's not great. And you're reckless. Alright. Griftingsman it is. I'm going to give you some small promotions. Alright, and our war with Congo is still on schedule. You're on your way to this front, right? Please go there. Please go to the front that you're supposed to be going to. And speaking of armies not going to the fronts they're supposed to be going to, please go to the fronts you're supposed to be going to. Thank you. Alright, and we've got Congo occupied. So, if I pop the Conquer Congo button, actually, curiously enough, I want the 5th Army actually on this front so that nobody gets Congo back before we can actually get this thing done. But again, I think it'll be fine. I don't think Spain's war support's going to hold for very long. In fact, it's going down really fast, so I'm feeling pretty confident about that overall. I'm still continuing to increase home affairs. That is, I think, the right call. Gold discovered in Utah. Wonderful. We're taking back this territory. And it is time for Congo to surrender. So, now, before I forget, there's a peace offer. They want a white peace. There's nothing else to enforce here, so I will accept. So, now that we've got a hold of Congo, let's incorporate, and let's get started with some colonization efforts here. And this will get us access to other regions. This is also an area we can commence colonizing. Again, these are going to go slowly. This one does have severe malaria, so it is what it is, but we are on a mad dash to malaria prevention. So overall, I think those 2 wars went really well. We've got a little bit of infamy to play with, so I think my 2 options are I can be reducing liberty desire in my subject states, or I can work on more conquests. I think we're going to be reducing autonomy. So this is 4.7 infamy for Honduras and 5 for Guatemala. 39% chance of accepting for Honduras. 38% chance for Guatemala. No one seems in a position to actually stop me on this, so we'll go ahead and do it. Alright, they have chosen to fight, which is just fine with me. All of our armies are back to low mobilization, which is just fine. I'm going to mobilize everyone. I don't think this is necessarily going to be any kind of large front operation, but just in case it is, we'll go ahead and get started with that. Once they're down to Dominion, I can reduce their subject payments, and that's going to make them have a whole lot less liberty desire. Let's take a look at Congo. I'm definitely going to reset production methods. States I can incorporate? Oh, I finished colonizing Niger. I didn't even notice. My goodness. I should have, but I didn't. So, with Congo's no labor available here, in the process of colonizing, let's go ahead and... Do we have a port here? We do. Wonderful. We got 1 government admin, 2 barracks. We got regular infantry and hussars. Let's see where those units have ended up. They're in the 6th American Army. If we lose them out, they'll go to the regular army, and we'll just go ahead and upgrade those units. Beautiful. And the units are upgraded. So, we have a trade route importing man o' wars from Great Britain that is non-functional. So let's go ahead and close that out. How are man o' wars doing in our market? Let's filter to military goods to find out. Man o' wars are just fine. In fact, we're selling them, so that's completely reasonable. That's completely reasonable. In fact, I'm feeling pretty good about all our goods. All our military goods, at least. So, market needs. We still need more lead coal, and engines. How are the motor industries in Michigan going? They're fully employed. And is there labor available here? There is some. So we'll go ahead, and because again, Michigan's going to be one of our industrial centers, we'll go ahead and double the size of that motor industry. Lead is also an important commodity to start boosting. Let's see, we got a solid level in Illinois. Plenty of labor available there. What about Alabama? Well, there's plenty of labor available in Alabama. Let's bring this up to level 10. And I actually think we'll throw the motor industries down below the lead mines, just to make sure those get built. How is infrastructure in Congo? Infrastructure in Congo is good. We do not have a railway. I should build a railway there. It just seems sensible. We should build a railway. Now, Oyo is actually pretty low in Liberty Desire, which I'm feeling pretty solid about. So let's see, what else? What else for our customs union needs? We still need a little bit more tooling. Iron is looking good. Glass is looking really solid. I think we could actually afford to significantly increase... Well, maybe not significantly, but we could afford to increase the size of the construction sector. Although, let me actually look at my construction queue, because again, I don't want to necessarily outrun my ability of my my industrialists to actually pay for the continued construction that I'm doing. Regular army is a little bit low on org. Not sure why. Okay, no, they're recovering now. Alright, well, that's fine. That's just fine. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident overall. Oh, I was going to increase the size of tooling. Actually, tooling will build up in, I think, Ghana. Up to 8 levels of tooling workshops in Ghana. That should be just fine. Should provide... I'm going to move the Army of Florida here to the front as well. It'll let us get that right done. And this actually isn't too much infamy. I'm, overly enthusiastic partisans. Oh, look, we're in the middle of a campaign again. Supporters of the Republican Party have gone beyond simply campaigning for their own party, harassing and sometimes physically attacking opposing partisans. I'm a simple party man, that's all. I know who I like and I know who I don't like. And I know I want my people to win. Crack down. Let the Republican Party partisans go unmolested, reduce trade union strength and approval. If we crack down, let's reduce momentum. Or why should they limit who they target? Go forth and fight the good fight. And this is because our leader is wrathful, I believe. Or it might be that it's not the president, it's the current leader of the Republican Party. Current leader of the... No, yeah, he is so ambitious, charismatic, imperious. Oh, any interest group leader is wrathful or cruel. So that gives us 20% more momentum. Momentum spread looks all right, but I'm gonna say no. We're not gonna go buck wild here. I think I actually am realizing I think I might know another way I could attempt to lock down the power of the petite bourgeoisie, and that's through building towards women's suffrage. I think that will actually help because women tend to vote pretty progressively in Victoria 3. So again, I'm hoping that'll make that easier. All right, and there's the fight getting started. Again, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Obviously, Honduras and I are going to lose a little bit of relations due to being at war, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Battle's looking solid. Very good. And it looks like we've done a lot of casualties to them, so I'm hoping that subsequent battles go really well. Very good. Looking rock solid, in fact. that's the war. So we've got the amount of infamy available that we could immediately go for Guatemala. So let's go ahead and do it. 39% chance they accept. We've gotten pretty lucky on some of these before. And they say no. Robert Rantoul. I don't know who he was, but he's gone now. We'll go ahead and mobilize these two armies. And we'll put them on opposite sides. Here we go. We'll fight a little two-front war, but I think in this case we'll be able to win it without any difficulties. I swearsies, I looked at these two flags and I was like, wait a minute, is Prussia going after Guatemala as well? But no, it's just Holstein. Holstein is cosplaying Guatemala here. That's what's happening. Authorial intent. A minor scandal has buzzed around the Republican Party as a piece of reformist fiction written by George Fuller in his youth has begun to circulate once more. Whilst enthusiastically written, that is the work's only merit. The plague of superstition and dogma was the end of the United States of America? If it's so, then why are the trains still running? How could they possibly have acquired the coal to fuel it? Their propensity to butcher your characters for cheap tragedy is nothing short of shameful. And to make matters worse, why would Victor ever pursue Estrid's affections when they've known not pursue Estrid's affections when you know they've known each other for so long? Do you have no eye for redeeming romance? A tragic tale, but there's no reason to harass him. Minus 20% momentum. Or this is Fuller's problem, not the party's. Fuller gets weaker. So who's Fuller? Fuller heads up somebody over here. He's in the Yeoman Farmers. You know, I'm going to say the first one again, and we'll see what happens in the election. So, yeah, it still seems like the Republican Party's gonna clinch it with an overwhelming majority again. But getting the momentum down to something around even will get us a better visual to what the actual vote distro is going to look like in the long term. Because sometimes when you let the game sit with one party having none momentum and the other having a bunch, it becomes headache town for sure. So I think at this point, I'm comfortable with increasing the size of the construction sector yet again. Some of these railways are very unproductive, but they're subsidized, so how much am I paying in subsidies for these? Oh, almost nothing. I still have losses from nationally owned rubber plantations. How do those shouldn't be nationally owned. Where's my rubber plantations? Here. That's weird. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Can I export any rubber? I should be able to if there's anyone that wants it. Oh, the British market wants rubber. Absolutely. Get exporting that stuff, tell you what. Peasant revolts in the Cape Colonies. Cape Colony is still a puppet of Great Britain. British East Africa is colonizing Gambia. Do I have any additional colonization targets that have popped right away? No. But very soon, Equator will be open to me. And by very soon, I mean in 2 years. Again, really, really excited about getting malaria prevention up in here. And an aristocratic revolt in Hyderabad couldn't possibly be my problem. Holstein backs down, very good. Religious revolt in Australia. So an Athabasca uprising has occurred. Do we still have multiple fronts over here? We do. Notice on the 4th Army, am I going to have to mobilize the regular army? I think I actually am. Because it's the only other army I got that's anywhere near there, and I don't want to necessarily put myself into a situation where I'm trying to move. I've made the mistake of moving an army from across the entire board over to Alaska in the previous run, and oh boy, that it was Mistakesville. Tell you what, partisan papers. Party-affiliated newspapers have proliferated during this election season. Publications associated with the Socialist Party of America have been particularly effective in spreading the party line. Read all about it. Honest politicians attacked by shameless cowards. Leading candidate for office issues heartwarming appeal to common man's heart. Man on campaign trail pets puppy. Read all about it. They've used the papers brilliantly, 10% momentum. Newspaper circulation is through the roof. This is a boom for publishers. Or it's in the state's interest to limit the spread of lies. Let me see. How's the paper market looking? Because, boy howdy, would, we're going to increase paper throughput because having more paper is good for the country. Literacy is also increasing dramatically. Let me take a look at our tech situation. Oh, I could actually... No, we are at our innovation cap. We're at the innovation cap. Arms. But we're only just at the innovation cap, and literacy is still going up. So... I think... Have I built a big university in Tennessee yet? I haven't. So I think we're going to build 5 levels of universities here. What about California and Texas? California's got one. Texas hasn't. We'll throw in 5 levels there. Again, this is just to give us a little bit of a buffer to make sure that we're... that as we increase, we'll be able to continue increasing. Alright, so that is the war for the reduction of Guatemalan autonomy. There's the election finishing out. We are just as legitimate as ever. If we bring in the industrialists, we'll lose a bunch of legitimacy, though, so we won't do that. Moving right ahead here, I think I do want to conquer El Salvador at some point, but I think there are other targets that are more tempting to me, particularly Futa Jalal. 6.8 infamy over there to conquer that territory. I am also interested in grabbing Gobir, but obviously since I reduced autonomy via infamy, I need to wait a little bit on that. Venezuela's liberty desire is still going down. Again, not as fast as I would like. Dangerous equipment. The furniture manufacturers in Massachusetts have seen an increase in workplace accidents due to increased mechanization and poor safety regulations. Accidents have always happened, but I felt like I used to have time to react. Not this time. I grabbed his arm to pull him out of the way, but I barely gotten hold of his wrist before the arm was all I held on to. Slow down production, angry industrialists. We can't put the brakes on the engine of progress, angry trade unions and evangelicals, and big ol' mortality. I don't want to increase mortality in Massachusetts, so the industrialists are just going to have to suck it up. It's not that much of your profits, guys. James Baumfree is the new leader of the trade unions. Very cool. He's a Republican, so solidly middle-of-the-road position in America at this stage of history. Let's see. I think I can do a little bit more work on economic development, and then we'll call it an episode. I have a lot of lives, a lot of pops living below minimum standard of living. Market access in Vermont is a little short. That's unfortunate. Let's go ahead. Oh my goodness, I don't even have one railway here. Well, we'll definitely build that. So, what can we build up in Texas to increase the standard of living there? Food industries. I can build up food industries. It's always good to have a lot of food industries in the country, because producing groceries is a pretty reliable way of raising standard of living and making your grain go farther. And that's very good. Standard of living, by the way, has continued to go up. We're at 13.2 right now, with 8 million loyalists as a result. So I'm feeling really confident in that overall. Let me see. So that should help with Texas. Chiapas. I really need to work on Chiapas. Where is Chiapas? I could use this to find out. Ah, yes. Very good. I was looking right at it. Population super low and super impoverished. Let's start with some fishing wharves and logging camps, and then we'll build up, I think a little bit of a tooling industry is the smartest way to go here. How is infrastructure? Infrastructure will just barely tolerate what I've just queued up. So we'll add a railway in there. And then as time goes on... Again, this is an investment. We're going to eventually steal Chiapas from Mexico, so once that happens, we'll be in a much better position to employ the population there. I think it will be time for a... I don't have a return CB against Mexican Chiapas, which I thought I would, because I do have Chiapas incorporated. But I guess that's not how that works. Anyway, War with the Athabascans about to kick off. And after that, we will go after Futajanol. Maybe we'll go after Chiapas. Maybe grab some more territory from Mexico. It's all kind of up in the air. But that is today's episode. I've had fun. I hope you've had fun. And I'll see you on the other side.